Something unusual just surfaced inside Alabama football, and it came directly from Kalen DeBoer. During the first days of Alabama's 2026 spring practice, DeBoer repeatedly highlighted one priority: rebuilding the offensive line's physical mindset and improving the run game. At first, that sounds routine, but in Alabama's history, when the focus suddenly shifts to the trenches, it often signals something bigger happening inside the program. Analysts across college football know these signals rarely appear by accident. So the question now is simple: is this just spring talk or the first sign of a silent shift in Alabama football? Before we go deeper into this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments where you're watching from right now. I read every comment. And something a lot of people ask me is how these news videos are created. Believe it or not, it was with simple videos like this that many creators were able to monetize their YouTube channels. If you want to learn how to build channels using this same format, I left an ebook in the pinned comment. Just click the link and check out how it works. At first, Kalen DeBoer's comments sounded like something heard every spring in college football. Coaches talk about fundamentals, physicality, improvement. But inside Alabama football, repetition matters. And during the opening days of spring practice, DeBoer kept returning to the same point: the offensive line, the run game, and the physical identity of the Crimson Tide. Not once, not twice, again and again. And when a coach repeats a message like that in Tuscaloosa, people around the program start paying attention. Last season showed flashes of a dangerous Alabama offense: explosive passes, fast tempo, big plays down the field. But there were also moments when the ground game struggled to take control. In the Southeastern Conference, that detail changes everything. The teams that control the line of scrimmage often control the entire game. When the run game works, defenses hesitate. When the offensive line dominates, quarterbacks operate with confidence. And suddenly, an offense becomes far more difficult to stop. That is why DeBoer's emphasis during spring practice is drawing quiet attention across college football. Because inside elite programs, major shifts rarely begin with headlines. They begin with priorities. And when Alabama begins talking about rebuilding strength in the trenches, history suggests something bigger may be taking shape. During the offseason, Alabama added new offensive linemen and pushed returning players through an intense strength and conditioning program. According to DeBoer, several athletes have already made major physical strides since arriving on campus. Stronger frames, better movement, more confidence in the system. Those developments may not dominate national conversation, but inside football buildings, they often signal the start of a deeper structural adjustment. And this is where the story becomes more intriguing, because Alabama's most dominant eras always started in the same place: the trenches. Under Nick Saban, the Crimson Tide built one of the most powerful dynasties college football has ever seen through relentless physical control. Powerful rushing attacks, offensive lines that wore defenses down over 4 quarters, defensive fronts that dictated the tempo of the game from the opening snap. Opponents often knew exactly what Alabama wanted to do. Stopping it was the problem. Years later, the offense evolved again. Quarterbacks like Tua Tagovailoa helped transform Alabama into one of the most explosive passing teams in the sport. Deep shots down the field, fast scoring drives, a more modern offensive approach. But even then, the foundation remained unchanged: protection, balance, dominance up front. That history explains why analysts are listening closely to what DeBoer is saying now. Because when Alabama begins emphasizing physical control again, it often signals that the program is recalibrating its identity, and that raises an important question. What if the biggest storyline unfolding in Tuscaloosa right now is not the quarterback competition that dominates headlines? What if the real shift is happening somewhere far less visible? at the line of scrimmage. If Alabama restores true dominance in the trenches, the ripple effects across the offense could be enormous. A reliable run game forces defenses to commit extra players near the line. Play action becomes far more dangerous. Pass protection improves. Quarterbacks gain time and confidence. And suddenly, every element of the offense becomes more explosive. That is how championship offenses are built. Not only through star quarterbacks or highlight throws, but through control of the most important space on the field, the line of scrimmage. And that is why DeBoer's repeated message during spring practice may be more significant than it first appeared. Because the real story emerging in Alabama football might not be about who wins the quarterback job. It might be about whether the Crimson Tide is quietly rebuilding the physical foundation that made the program dominant for so many years. If that foundation returns, the impact will not stay hidden for long. Defenses across the conference will feel it. Game plans will adjust. And Alabama's offense could suddenly look very different once the season begins. So now the debate begins among Crimson Tide fans and college football observers everywhere. Is this simply a routine spring focus from a new coaching staff? Or is Kalen DeBoer quietly shaping the next evolution of Alabama football? Because if the trenches are truly being rebuilt in Tuscaloosa right now, the rest of college football may only realize what is happening when the games begin. And by that point, the shift may already be underway. So what do you think? Is Alabama preparing for a new offensive era under Kalen DeBoer, or reinforcing the same physical identity that built one of the greatest dynasties the sport has ever seen? Share your thoughts in the comments. Before closing today's video, there's something worth highlighting from the discussion in the previous video. A special thank you goes to Robert Johnson, who commented from Troy, Alabama. That detail alone says a lot, because when someone watching from inside the state joins the conversation, it brings a perspective that's deeply connected to the heartbeat of Alabama football. Fans across Alabama have lived through the eras of physical dominance, the explosive offensive transitions, and now the beginning of the Kalen DeBoer era. Comments like Robert's help ground these discussions in the reality of the program's culture and tradition. Every voice coming from places like Troy, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, or anywhere across the state adds another layer to the conversation about where the Crimson Tide might be heading next. And of course, appreciation also goes out to everyone else who commented on that previous video, but whose names were not listed before this edition closed. Every message, every location shared, every observation about Alabama football helps build a stronger community around the channel. Keep those comments coming, keep sharing where you're watching from, and keep bringing your insights, because the discussion around Crimson Tide football only gets richer when fans from across the country, and especially across Alabama, join the conversation. Because sometimes the biggest transformations in college football begin long before the first kickoff of the season.